that. Wherever you are in the world, if you're about to sit down and eat, apologise before we go any further. But a lump of fat the size of a double-decker bus and weighing 15 tonnes has been found in a drippy London sewer. The spongy yellow lump of fat, which apparently smells like the wettest dog you could ever imagine, is thought to be the largest Fatberg ever seen in Britain. Who found the word Fatberg? Took 3 weeks to get rid of, and if it hadn't been found, it could have caused raw sewage, you don't want to hear this bit, to spurt out of manholes and people's toilets. Don't say I didn't warn you. With me, Craig Rance from Thames Water, the company who found this enormous Fatberg. It sounds disgusting. What are the constitutional ingredients of this thing? It
is disgusting. It is horrible. I've been into the sewers, the larger ones you can go into, and seen them firsthand. So it's, as you can see, a bit of a putridy, yellowy mass. It's a bit spongy, but it's made from cooking fat and from wet wipes, which people put into the drains, down the toilet, down their sinks, and think, well, once they go away, they'll be absolutely fine. But as you can see, once they get into the larger the sewers, the cooking fat starts to harden, it starts to go white, and a wet wipe will come along and cling to it, and that will cling to part of the sewer, and they build and build and build. And that's why you end up with a Fatberg that was as massive as this one was.
I had never heard the word Fatberg before. Is this a kind of concoction that you've come up with? Because it's a brilliant word.
It's a word our actual sewer flushers use. So
sewer flushers?
The guys who go down into the sewers themselves, and right under London, we've got large enough sewers that people can walk through them. And you'd be more than welcome to come and visit them yourselves if you wanted.
Maybe Global could come live from a London sewer one day. I know the producers. I would like to go and do the recce first. There we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's the word they use because most of it, you see, if you see the effect of it above ground, you get a bit of sewage seeping out of a manhole somewhere, but the main bulk is underground and not seen, and that's why they came up with Fatberg.
Do you think we need to be more careful about what we chuck down our sinks?
Yeah, we're smiling about this, but this is a really, really serious problem. Thames Water spends £1 million every month of customers' money just dealing with things put down the sewers which shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and of course these are old Victorian sewers. Are the sewers themselves still fit for purpose?
Yeah, the sewers are really, really good. I mean, Joseph Bazalgette put them in, certainly the ones under the centre of London, hundreds of years ago, and they were a proper Victorian engineering job. But we need to treat them right. And so when people are discarding wet wipes or they're putting cooking fat down there, thinking once it's gone, it's out of sight, out of mind, as you can see, this sewer was actually reduced down to 5% of its capacity. And as we say, once it's away from you, you may not be thinking about it, but once the sewage is coming out of the manholes and covering the road, or up through your toilets, because it will find the lowest point out, that's when you're getting back what you gave us.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just kind of dwelling on that moment for perhaps a bit too long. Yeah. What do you do to break them up? I mean, do you have to use chemicals or what?
What we do is when we remove this one, we worked overnight so we didn't disrupt too much of the traffic, but it actually took us 3 weeks. What they'll do is they'll put a high pressure washer down there, they'll spray it with water, it will break it up, and then a big sort of tanker vacuum cleaner will suck it out. And that's why it suddenly became apparent as we were going through this, the size of this thing, that it was the volume of a double-decker bus.
Craig, tell me this, is this a London problem or is this around the world people will have similar problems just by the nature of the awful rubbish that gets put down?
Exactly. London, this is the one we found in London, but we're Thames Water. We cover out as far as Gloucestershire, so they have the problems with the same one. All the other water companies, same problem with them. So this will be a worldwide problem. Berlin, New York, France, all the people we speak to, their city sewers will be having this issue, which is why everyone needs to understand our sewer flushers mantra, which is bin it, don't block it.
When you advertise for sewage flushers, do you get a lot of applicants?
Do you know what? We do. We've had one of the guys who we speak to who does a lot of interviews, and if you wanted to go down, we'd take you. Rob Smith, he has been doing it for 30 years, and he's done it for so long, and he won't do anything else until he retires.
God bless him. Good that there are people like that who want to do that job. Craig Rance, very interesting to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. All being well, we won't be flushed away. We'll be